Hello, my friends, my swan friends. I think I did a reading for you not too long ago. Although I should recognize that you can change and do change. So sometimes you might be a swan, sometimes you might be something different. Let's see. And the book does not want to open up to the swan today. Oh, there it is. Okay. So, swan, effortless creativity, sensitive mystic, elegant power. Of course, this also shows a swan's reflection because everybody likes to do swan's reflections. But it could indicate you spend a lot of time reflecting or in introspection. Okay. The swan represents heightened creativity. In Hindu mythology, the goddess Saraswati, the embodiment of language, creativity, and artistry, rides on the back of this graceful creature. The swan is ready to take us there, to the fluid realm of writing, creating, and reflecting. This potent and healing energy is not to be taken for granted or taken lightly. When the swan card appears, your soul is calling for attention, for solo time. An inner voice is waiting to be heard, an inner vision likely to be revealed. When in balance, infinite creative power. When out of balance, agitated, snippy, and lacking vision. To bring into balance, solo time. It says writing, but I would add reflection, introspection, whatever form of creativity or artistry that you like to engage in. And it's something that you would do for yourself, not for others. I mean, others could benefit eventually, but at the moment that you're doing it, you should be doing it for yourself. Now, the next 6 cards, the round ones, are the tea leaf cards, and those are to help you determine whether or not this really is your reading. We have the cat, a two-faced friend, and an older woman. Dealings with a relationship with an older woman. So this could be your two-faced friend, or I don't think it has to be a friend specifically. Unfortunately, it could be a family member. It could be a coworker. I think there are a variety of people that could be this two-faced older woman, unfortunately. All right, then we have hills, obstacles to overcome. But in good news, we have candle. You will be shown the way. Elephant has shown up here, which is a little bit of a surprise to me. I think of the elephant, in terms of Ganesh, the remover of obstacles. But in this case, it says a long journey, either physical or mental, I would add, or spiritual. And that will leave you wiser and probably healthier and stronger in some fashion at the end. And finally, bow, you are highly thought of. You may not realize it. Okay. So what do you think is your major concern? I haven't decided which cards I want to use for that. I need another oracle deck probably. But we shall go with the Crow Tarot because that's what I'm being called to go with. Sorry. What do you think your major issue is? We have a Star. Four of Cups. Temperance. So you had the Star come out first. The Star can be a card of healing, connection to the divine, miracles. You have the Four of Cups in a crossing position. which would suggest that the healing that you really, really want is being blocked by your own inability to appreciate something. You probably are having trouble seeing this something, or you're having trouble seeing it correctly, seeing what it really is. And underneath that, we have Temperance. Temperance is also a card of miracles, or at least doing what seems impossible. And of course, being Temperance, it is about moderating excesses, and finding the balance between the spiritual and the physical, the material. That's all a little vague. Although, no, let's just see what else comes out. So with the Four of Cups, meditation is frequently implied. Now we have the Nine of Wands in reverse. So I'm getting some paranoia here. Although you do have a two-faced person in your life, so maybe it's justified. And Death. It is in a crossing position, however. So, in the upright, Death is about the ending of something. You have to let go of something so that transformation can occur, so that a rebirth can happen. But in the reverse, there would be a great deal of resistance to change, to this transformation. I would like to point out that so far, out of 5 cards, you have 3 major arcana. Major arcana are considered to be more powerful than the suits cards. So you should just see the suits cards as trying to help clarify the major arcana. So as we were saying, Temperance, the Star, so lots about healing. This healing will require transformation. And Four of Wands. Oh, wow. In the upright. I don't know why, but this is... So normally I see the Four of Wands as your community, your family, your friends, the people who are a permanent or relatively permanent part of your life. But for whatever reason, and I've never actually seen this card before, I haven't had the deck that long, this looks more like a wedding to me than any of the other Four of Wands I've looked at. And it's crows. I don't know. So, this is what you think the issue is? A great deal of need for healing. But I also see a reluctance to move, to change. You have that Four of Cups. There's something you don't want to see. Oh, there it is. You have been, perhaps still are, imprisoned in social programming, family programming, cultural programming, the set of beliefs that have been instilled in you since you were a young child. They are beliefs. They are holding you prisoner right now. But the thing about them is that they're not solid. And they can only hold you prisoner as long as you let them. So this crow could hop right out or fly out. Well, probably hop because it looks a little crowded in there. I don't think they could spread their wings. But you can get out. Oh. Let me see if I can find my deck. Other deck. Yes. So when I think of the Eight of Swords, it is a false imprisonment. But it looks like you're beginning to realize that, because you have this Eight of Swords in reverse. So it does look like you are recognizing that that these beliefs are not the prison that you think they are. However, it will have a profound impact on your community, on your family and friends when you decide to believe differently. It will change your relationships with them. You may be prepared for that, you may not be. At the moment, I would guess you're not, because the other cards are not enthusiastic toward change. In fact, there's a suggestion it will take a miracle to get you to change, or to get the change that is needed. Maybe it's not your change, but I think it is. This is your reading after all. So I'm trying to find the Eight of Swords card in this deck, because it is the best visual description of the Eight of Swords that I have ever seen. I don't use this deck for these readings. It's my personal deck. There we go. There we have it. The Eight of Crystals. In this deck, swords are called crystals. And as you can see, this woman thinks that she is in a cage. This person. It doesn't have to be a woman, of course. So this person believes they are in a cage. But the door is open. The stairs are there. All she has to do is look around, stop banging on the walls, look around, walk out the door and down the stairs. She is free to leave at any time. And maybe that's what you're beginning to understand, because you do have the Eight of Swords in reverse. Now, this is, I think, reinforced by this Four of Cups, because that also emphasizes that you are not seeing things the way they really are. In some way, you are just looking, or have been, I should say. This is crossing, so you may not be seeing things this way anymore, but I think at one time you were. You were just kind of wallowing in self-pity about your whole situation, whatever it may be, and feeling like there was nothing that could be done, or so you were very pessimistic about it, or I think you're refusing to see your own power in this situation, how you contributed to your own imprisonment. But I also think you are looking at that Fourth Cup now. I've never seen this before. I've never seen a Four of Cups where the person is looking at the Fourth Cup. Of course, it's a crow, not a person, but still, you're looking at it. You're recognizing that you have a role in this. These swords cannot hold you prisoner unless you let them. And I think that realization is coming to you, has come to you, and maybe it's making you optimistic about something. It appears that there have been a number of things in the way of you coming together with someone. And or because I don't actually see anyone else here yet. I mean, there's a possibility, because this does look a lot like marriage, but this is my community card. So perhaps you are starting to see your community as imprisoning you. But you still love your family and lifelong friends, as you should. But you should be prepared for that, your relationships to change as your understanding changes. I don't know. Let's get the universe's perspective. What does the universe have to say about this? So this was the first one out. Huh, that's interesting. I'm a little surprised. Okay. I'm not sure what social media has to do with this. Networking, marketing, the internet. Something about the internet is important to all of this. More than meets the eye. Steady forward movement, progress. That's very promising. So there's a lot going on that isn't being seen right now by others. Perhaps it's happening on the internet. Well, this is not good. We have Wolverine here. The Wolverine is very fierce. The Wolverine can fight off much larger animals that would try to take it on. Most animals don't, just because they're wild. They're very fierce. They will fight and fight and fight and fight, and anybody that tries to go up against them will pay a steep price. However, it may be that your inner demons are very hard to fight. We also have bird on a wire, blabbermouth gossip, backstabbing gossip, untrustworthy secrets talking behind your back. And then we have the lion, bold, brave, devoted, heart-centered, proud, courageous leadership, high self-esteem, inner strength, and confidence. Excuse me. It's always these long readings where my voice disappears. All right, so tracks. We have the steady forward progress, perhaps toward becoming this bold, brave person. But there's also this sense that there's a lot more going on. And perhaps this gossip is very damaging in some way. I'm really not sure what's going on with this Wolverine. I'm also not sure what's going on with the internet. Networking, marketing, internet, fame. Well, if you are on the internet, you'll probably be subjected to a lot of commentary, especially if you have any degree of success, then you'll have haters. And maybe that's what this is talking about. And you will definitely have to be brave and courageous in the face of the haters. By the way, the numbers 20 and 17 have both shown up twice. I don't know what that means. It could be 2017 meant a lot to you as a year. Could be that you should look up those numbers if you're into numerology. You really need to be balanced. Maybe it's that Wolverine energy is getting out of control. They can be... I know they're very territorial. Does it say possessive on here? Because I think that applies. Yes, it does. Yeah, I think you might have some really powerful inner demons that you need to mediate. Bring into balance somehow. And that may be a major obstacle for you. And of course, you have a choice. Choices. You are weighing the options, deciding. You have free will. That's the important thing. You have opportunities. You are independent. Get going. I don't think staying in one place and doing nothing is a choice for you. In spite of all this about you do have a choice, you have multiple choices, and you need to weigh the options, but you need to get moving overall, I think, is what the universe is saying. And I do think you're going to have to be courageous and bold in ways you never were before. There's a difference between confidence and pride, or being prideful, perhaps I should say. Confidence is when you're authentic. An overinflated ego is when you have more of a sense of entitlement, and your pride becomes a problem, becomes a blockage. It's not a block when it's just confidence. When it's a pride, when it's excessive confidence or undeserved confidence, unwarranted confidence, then it becomes an obstacle. So I do think you have a few obstacles here. But the final message is clear. Just get going. Determination is needed. I don't agree with going fast. We have the tracks over here which suggest steady movement, not crazy fast race car movement, but didn't mean that to grab that deck. I think I'm gonna go with the Shaman deck again, if I can find it. Oh yeah, I'm looking right at it. That was weird. All right. Regarding this, okay. We have thunder. I had a thunderstorm last night. And Sweat Lodge, so 56 and 54. The Sweat Lodge. The essence. The Sweat Lodge represents the womb of Mother Earth. Volcanic stones are heated in a fire outside, then brought into the lodge and placed in a shallow hole in the center. Participants sit in complete darkness around the red-hot stones to sweat away old habits and beliefs and heal disease. When you return humbly to the womb of the Mother, you are offered second chances. Pride's not a good choice here. The invitation. This is a time to journey inward into the dark and hidden places of your soul to reconnect with the ancient earth wisdom. You can also create a sacred and intimate space in the dark by lighting a candle. Observe what emerges, and without judging it, invite it to bring you its gifts. You are being offered an opportunity to shed and heal from the aspects of your life you have outgrown. Do not worry that you will be consumed by the process. The medicine. Life is offering you a second chance. Take it, since this chance may not come your way again for a while. Mother Earth is calling you into her womb and inviting you to incubate as long as needed for a spiritual rebirth. Gift yourself time to be with your darkness, your fears, your pain, your inner demons, and your seeds of beautiful potential, until you come out the other side free, wise, and full of creativity. Interesting it said free, especially since you got the Eight of Swords in reverse. 56, Thunder. What's that song? I've got thunder, I've got lightning, the way I love you is frightening. I think that's it. Anyway. Thunder, the essence. Legends speak of great thunder beings who live in the sky and call for your attention when great occurrences are meant to happen in the world. They warn when tensions in a situation are called upon to be released. Their presence in your reading reminds you of the dramatic moments in life that change everything. Both awesome and frightening, when thunder arrives, it is also a wake-up call, one that you will not soon forget. The invitation. When thunder comes into your reading, it refers to a big dramatic change that feels like a herd of wild bison on the run. A stampede. Oh my. You feel it right through your bones, and you know that you are powerless to influence whatever events have been set into motion. This is a time to be prepared for anything. Your life is an adventure, and wonderful opportunities are arriving now. The trick is to learn to run with them. Qualities that you'll need now more than ever are flexibility, dexterity, and a willingness to experience it all without dictating from where or in what form opportunities will come. Your destiny is arriving. Be ready. The medicine. Do you feel like unnecessary drama is waylaying your life? Could you be exhausted from listening to others tell you their never-ending victim story? Or could you be telling yourself a version of the same? It's time for an about-face. You are being warned that to continue on this path will cause you to regret your choices, even if they appear benign or familiar. It's time to say no to drama, both yours and others. Focus on solutions rather than problems. You are worthy of a drama-free life. Yeah. I think that is a problem. You've got gossip. You've got this Wolverine. You need some balance. Drama is not adding to your life. All right, so, wow. I don't know, that feels like a lot to me. I am hoping that you can find your way to make the most of this second chance it seems you're being given, and a way to move with it. Good luck.